Hey everyone, Dave here. Welcome to a new Raid Shadow Legends video. In today's video, I want to talk to you about the Fireknight dungeon. Fireknight dungeon is one of the most important ones. It's a tougher one, but it is the dungeon that you'll keep farming well into in-game. So let's start talking about it early, mid-game, and then into in-game. What teams you can use to beat the Fireknight, the boss mechanics, and what stages to farm. As we always start with, we're talking about stages to farm here. And if we check the affinities for the Fireknight, stage 7, which is the first stage where you'll get 5-star gear, is magic affinity. So it would be neutral to your magic champs, your starter champ, and probably a couple of other on the team. And it will be weak affinity if you have any forced champs. So this is the earliest stage. I would suggest you farm there. But then when you're climbing more, I would say stage 10 would be good because it's weak affinity and you won't get 3-star gear anymore. Going into 13, the problem with 13, which is the first one you'll get 6-star gear from, is that it's force affinity strong against you. Affinity makes a lot of difference unless you're using cold hearts. So you better farm 14, which is weak affinity against your versus your magic champs. So 14, not 13. And then 17 is force, so also you'll have to climb to 18 to be strong affinity if we're also talking magic champs. And then of course 20, the problem with 20 is that it's force. So Armigers will do well there, but your magic champs will suffer a little bit, your lowers or whatever, anyone you're using to control the turn meter of the boss. Uh, let's start talking boss mechanics and teams. Let me start by, let's say, 14, because this is what I suggested. So we'll get to the end game team. Let's say that you'll always include your starter champ, but I want to use Apothecary here for a couple of reasons, and I'll tell you why. Aethel is good, Kale is good, whatever your starter champ, I'm assuming at this stage you'll use them. Armiger is always good to keep the turn meter of the boss. And then what I would want also is someone with okay, let's use no, Geomancer might be too strong. Let's use Tyrell just as an epic example there. So this is the first stage. I'll just show you the boss mechanics and then we'll talk about what's happening there. So we'll get through the waves. You need champs to get you through the waves. We already know that. And I'm just manualing so I can have my skills there. So this is a very basic budget team. Whatever epic you got, your starter champs, your Armiger, your Apothecary, or your Speed Booster, or whatever, you're using them against the Fireknight, and yep, that's it. I'm waiting for us to get to the boss to start talking about the boss mechanics. Okay, we're almost up to the boss, so let me finish this one. Okay, now we're up to the boss. Let's start talking mechanics here. No minions or anything. You see that shield icon with the 10 in front of it. What's happening here, or what Fireknight does? As long as he has that shield up, you cannot apply the buffs on him and you cannot do damage, proper damage to him. You see the damage will be tiny here. And this number means that you need to hit that shield this number of times before you can start applying your debuffs, controlling turn meter, and doing damage to the boss. What happens if the boss fills his turn meter before you have those 10 hits and then you start controlling him? He will hit you and he hits hard, and then he will get that shield back. So what you want to do here is to bring champs that has multi-hit on one of their skills, preferably the A1, so it's up all the time. Like you see here, if we check, okay, let's check. So this is a single hit. Aethel got a double hit here, so she's useful. Apothecary got a double hit on his A1 too, and then Tyrell got a double hit. So you see, we just open the shield, and then your target, after opening the shield, and that's why I have the armigers here, to keep that turn meter down. Prevent him, Tyrell is also helping with his A3. Your main goal is to prevent him from bringing that shield up again. Every time he brings the shield up and he hits you, he hits harder and harder and decreases the max HP of your champs till he wipes the team. So, what are your priorities here? Multi-hit champs. It can be anything other than the A1. Like, for example, I don't have Rhonda built here on my main account, but Rhonda is perfect for the Fireknight. She has multi-hits on all of her abilities, and everyone who started playing in the past couple of months got Rhonda on their account. So, yeah, they can have her and play around with her. When you're climbing up to, let's say, 17, 18, this team won't do you much good. So now let's start talking tactics here. You'll need your team to be a bit tanky to take hits. So those is like Ursula is one of my favorite champs there. As a reviver, she puts attack down on the boss, she puts attack up on you, and she puts strength in, and she puts something else. Defense up, probably. Yeah. So I'm having her as my support. Now, what else we can bring to the team? I'm showing you a good example of how this can work. And of course, in the proper scenario, you'll set up AI so you don't have to do it manually like I do. Where's my Ruella now? Yeah. And then let me bring, let's say, Phoenix. Where's my Phoenix? If you see here, I'm not bringing any multi-hitters to the team. But what I'm substituting this with is to ally attack. You'll tell me I don't have to, bring the one you have. If you have Farak in the Fat, if you have Krila, and we'll check those champs in a bit. So what you want to have those multi-hits. Ruella got a triple hit, I think, on her A2 or A3. Let's put that on auto till we're closer to the boss. And then we'll have, I just want the ally attack to be off cooldown. So, yeah. Ruella got a triple hit. Phoenix hits twice with his A1. So, was in a perfect scenario, if you have champs multi-hitting by their A1 and you combine them with ally attackers, you'll get that shield down really fast. For example, like I don't want to use her because it will make things too easy. Cold Heart. Cold Heart hits 4 times on her A1. If you got, and I'll show you this in the maybe as an additional team example here. If you have a couple of Cold Hearts with an ally attack champ, those are just like 8 hits. The other thing is that as you're climbing up the Fireknight stages, the number of hits required to break the shield increases. Let me just focus on getting us to the boss here to show you the perfect scenario. So she also got triple hit on her A1. So that's actually perfect because with both ally attacks, I'll get that she got a triple hit on her A1, Phoenix got a double hit on his A1. So those are 5 hits combined with the ally attack. We'll get that shield down at no time at all. Okay, let's just get rid of the mobs here and get to the boss. And one of the good things about Ursula as support, other than the strengthen, defense up, the revives that she does, she applies attack down on the enemy. She also got that decreased turn meter on her A1, so she's definitely useful here, so I didn't think of that. Maybe it's my subconscious. applying my game knowledge here. Okay, so now we're up to the boss. Let me show you. So it's still 10 here. So 3 hits, ally attack, and we don't even need the second one. It's up. So like I said, this is going to be a fast farming strategy. I'm not depending on multi hits and a lot of turn meter control. I have strong nukers with ally attack champs. So basically, they will break that shield, and before this shield is up again, I'll have the boss down. You see here, of course, she decreased the turn meter because of her masteries, and then the boss is down. As simple as that. So, same will be with Cold Hearts or any similar teams. So, let's talk level 20 now. Level 20 budget team before I show you my team, which works, of course, on 20 and 25. So, I'll keep using Apothecary. Cell of the Drakes is good as support to your team. Let me first figure out the team. Where's my cell? Oh, come on. Okay. So, Cell of the Drakes and we want multi-hitters. Let's say Magnar for the waves. And let's have our Armigers. Let's see if this will work. I'm thinking budget teams here. So I don't want to have Cold Hearts. I don't want to have Acrisia. I don't want to have any, like I showed you already, a light attack. If you have a light attack champs, they'll work perfectly on any level, increasing the number of hits that the boss is taking on the shield, and they will get you to the boss fast enough. Of course, if you have Cold Hearts, definitely replace those Armigers with Cold Hearts. I'm just showing you the budget options because the good option, you'll see them in the other videos and everywhere. Magnar here, he's not doing like, he hits twice only on his A2 and his AoE. I'm only bringing him here because he's the right affinity and he'll help me get through the waves faster. And if you remember my rule from the previous dungeon videos, your perfect farming time is 2 minutes. If it's 2.5 minutes, 3 minutes, it's a bit too long. You're wasting a lot of time and you're losing a lot of runs when you're doing your farming. So if you can bring someone that will take care of the waves quickly, that's why Seer comps are so popular, or Poison Explosion comps, because you want to get to the boss in like 30 seconds, 40 seconds, and then you'll take care of the boss afterwards. My level 25 team, which is the same as my level 20 team, is not fast enough, I would say, but it does the trick. And you know me, I'm a bit lazy. If it's working, I don't bother tuning it. Maybe I'll make a better team later on. The important thing about Fireknight is that you cannot bring your traditional Seer comps like what you do elsewhere, because you need that massive amount of turn meter control. That's why Cold Heart and Allure are queens in the Fireknight. If you have a Cold Heart or double couple to Cold Hearts, if you have Allure, if you have Deacon Armstrong, bring them to the Fireknight, don't hesitate. Anyone that will control the boss turn meter once that shield is down is extremely valuable to you. What I'm depending on here, I don't have a lot of multi-hitters. Apple's multi-hits a couple of times. Sail is in Relentless, so maybe she will help us there. But like I said, this is an example of a budget team. Sail is important, and that's why I'm sure I showed also Ursula on the previous team, because if you take a couple of hits from the Fireknight, your team will fall. A couple of people will fall down. You need a reviver there. One of my Armigers is also in Relentless, so let's see how this would work. So you see, I'm not doing enough hits and his turn meter is filling up quickly, but hopefully I'm still faster because of my like speed boost and stuff. So if I manage to get the shield open, okay, you see I control the turn meter, which is also a good tip to know. The last hit that breaks the shield, apply the debuff or whatever or turn meter control when you get there. You see, both my armigers are controlling the turn meter. My cell put speed down on the boss, keeping him low. And of course, armigers got the max HP hit, so they will keep his turn meter down while doing damage. An apothecary will keep everyone going fast, taking turns, so they can keep that control. So this is a budget team, but as you're seeing, because it's not optimized, it will take probably like 4 minutes to get through the boss, which is too long for farming. Um, I can show you, I'll show you my comps, the comp that I'm using. Cold Hearts and Allures basically will do the trick with any ally attack. So the two skills, and I'll show you from Hell Hades website examples for this. The two skills you want beside turn meter control, which is extremely important for Fire Knight once the shield is open, ally attack, and reflect damage. I didn't mention counter attack here. Counter attack is extremely useful because it's only three champs in the whole game who can do it: Valk, Martyr, and Skull Crusher. If you have one of these three, put them in your Fire Knight team, especially if you got them early on. You have them built for clan boss or other areas of the game. And once they put that counter attack, when the boss hits you, all of your team hits back. So that's 5 hits out of the gate. And if one of your team, like Ruella, like Cold Heart, got multi hit on their A1, they will break that shield even faster. If you have counter attack with a double of Cold Hearts and a lure, the whole shield is gone just from the counter attack. So the counter attack, it's only those three champs. I've already showed you a couple of good examples for ally attack, Farrakhan the Fat and Krila. Probably you want one, not two of them on the team, as I showed you, because the thing is that if you put two ally attackers on the team, you don't have enough people left for support, turn meter control, and multi-hit A1. So one ally attack champ might be enough. Two, if you want to do like a fast nuke strategy like the one I showed you in that previous team. After this run finished, I'll show you my actual team, which works of course in 20 and 25, and we'll talk about replacements and what happened there. And we haven't talked about the gear sets yet, and why Fire Knight is the best dungeon to farm going into in-game and in-game. Okay, so we're almost done. Couple of more hits. You see here, this is the right Fire Knight strategy. Once that shield is down, he shouldn't bring it up again. You should do whatever you can, tune this team so that he's not getting that shield up. Okay, so let's go to my level 25 team. Hopefully I marked it properly so I don't get lost looking for it. Here, it's this one. Okay, so level 25. Why I'm working with this team, I didn't add Keimer because when I add, of course, if I can substitute one of those slots with a reset champ, Yumiko or Keimer basically, I'm going much faster into the second wave. But the thing is that my gear level is not strong enough to do this on level 25. So I just have Duchess for support, and I'm taking a bit of time on the second wave because everyone here does an important role. Lydia puts defense down and weaken, and a couple of buffs for Seer to be able to kill the first wave. Duchess, of course, is my support, and she also puts some buffs up for Seer. Allure is very important for the multi-hit and to keep the turn meter control on the boss once the shield is open, and Acrisia is my damage. Of course, I don't mind if someone falls because Duchess will bring them back to life. Also, Duchess hits twice on her A1, adding a couple of hits to the boss. Is this team optimal? No. Like I said, whatever works, I don't change it. I've seen much like more optimized teams with Ghostborns. I don't have Ghostborn and a couple of other champs there, but it does the trick for me. So if we're lucky, we get to the boss in around a minute, and then once we're there and the shield is open, Acrisia takes care of the boss, and we don't have like this I think that's 99% this team doesn't fail because there is a slight possibility of some mishaps there. But you see here, the shield is open. Acrasia start doing Acrasia stuff. Allure keeps the turn meter down, and we're completely safe in roughly 2 minutes, which is my recommended farm time. I'll wait till this run is over. The run is over now. Let's discuss what gear can be good that you get from Fireknight and why is it's the best. Curing, Vogoth is the best in curing. You can put it on anyone who puts heals on the team to increase the heal. It's niche. Immunity was a thing back then, not anymore. Shield is very good, especially if you combine shield with like bolster set. If you don't have bolster sets, shield is extremely good, giving like if you put an HP based champ in shield set with lots of HP, that's a lot of support for the team. Crit damage can be two pieces complementing your savage for nuker, so crit damage is good. Frenzy got some uses. Regeneration gear is amazing. You've seen all of the solo builds for like Dark Ale, Venomage, Theodore. You put someone in Regen and Immortal and they keep healing themselves while they're doing what they should be doing. Stun, one of the best sets in the game. You put it on anyone with AoEs, multiple AoEs, or A1 AoEs like Belluar, and they will keep stunning everyone. You put rares fast in a stun set, and you have almost epics or Legos stunning everyone all the time. Savage, of course, you hear people talking about it. Savage is the best gear set for nukers. So you see how many gear sets we talked about here in comparison to the other dungeons. So Regen, Stun, Savage, crit damage and shield. This is the best sets for your end game teams, for your end game builds. That's why you should invest time, though Fireknight is not as easy as the other dungeons. Invest time into building a fast team to farm it. This is where you will be spending your gems and extra energy between fusions or whatever. This is the dungeon you will be farming well into in game. I hope I was able to help you a little bit with some tips there. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye.